Hello everybody, I am Maya and welcome to 3 simple ways to make a difference as a lightworker. What is a lightworker? Well, in my opinion, a lightworker is really anybody who feels that they are here to make the world a better place, a brighter place, and to improve the lives of others. Why secret ways? Why not just help in ways that people can recognize? Throughout my life, I have always believed that the greatest impact happens when we help in secret. And the reason why is because when we help behind the scenes or we help in secret ways, it means that our ego is not involved. In other words, it means that we're not helping for the purpose of getting recognition. We're not helping for the purpose of being seen as a good person. We're really just offering something positive to the world, and we're helping just for the sake of helping and just for the sake of, if you will, contributing light energy. Ever since I've been a little girl, I've always tried to look for little ways that I can help each and every day. I think the smallest things can make a really big difference. So here are 3 ways that I like to help, 3 secret ways. Number 1, smile at strangers that you pass on the street. Just go into the world and make eye contact with people and just give them a little smile. It doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be like, yeah, you know what I mean? But just give them like a little smile. Show a little bit of joy in your face. And I used to always do this when I was in school. When I was a little girl, I would always smile at people, especially kids that were getting bullied, or whenever I could tell that somebody was having a bad day, I would just take that little moment and just be like, you know, just kind of smile, nod, make eye contact, and I would always immediately see that their demeanor changed. Like people's body language would open up. Most people smile back. I mean, almost everyone smiles back. 99% of everybody, I would say, throughout my whole life has always smiled back, and you know in that way that you are actually elevating their mood. I mean, you have proof right away, especially with strangers, just walking throughout the world, smiling at strangers that might be on public transportation or are on the street. When I'm smiling at strangers, I like to wish them well. And that's kind of the secret part, you know. I'll just always try to think of an original wish, maybe just, I hope you have a great day. Or if I can kind of sense what the person is experiencing or what they're struggling with, then I can send them a very specific wish. And I am a psychic, so I often can sense what's going on. But sometimes you may, for example, look out the window and maybe you see somebody who is limping a little bit, and you can kind of tell, oh, they have pain in their knee or they have pain in their ankle. Well, one thing that you can do is you can smile at them, and I believe it makes a difference even if they don't see us, because we're still sending them like that joyful energy or thinking well of them. You can just silently wish their ankle well or whatever, right? Like just ask, like, may this person's pain be reduced. I like to kind of just imagine light surrounding them. As silly as that may sound, I do feel that it makes a difference. People have told me that it makes a difference, friends and family, when I've done this. And so, yeah, I just like to imagine light around them, maybe white light or a color light if I sense that a particular color might be really beneficial. And sometimes if I feel like a person is really down, I will just ask that they may, for example, feel the presence of a guardian angel around them, or just ask the angels to be with them, stuff like that. But the biggest principle of this is just to make the effort to connect and smile and make eye contact with people as you go out in the world. I do believe that humans are social creatures and that we're meant to feel connected to everyone around us. And of course, on a spiritual level, we are all connected, but it's very easy to feel disconnected in this world, and it's very easy to feel alone, especially with the emergence of technologies. And so just, it's free, it's easy, just make that eye contact with people, smile at people, and you'll see that it really has a ripple effect throughout the world. Number 2, give compliments to people and thank people, even if it's for the simplest thing. Now, I think we all know that this kind of elevates the mood, and I would never say to give fake compliments to people or anything like that. I don't think that that's helpful. If you look for genuine compliments to give to people in the world, you'll find that not only does it elevate the mood of the person who receives the compliment, but it will also elevate your own mindset. Like, you'll start to think more positive because you're looking for compliments. Let's say you notice somebody and maybe they're a construction worker or something like that, and maybe they're humming or singing a little bit. You could say, hey, thanks, I really like to hear you singing, if you do, or whatever. Or obviously we can compliment people on their clothes or jewelry or stuff like that. Although I think it's best if we can offer compliments to people that are based on just the nature of their being and who they are rather than their material things. Although any compliment will help, I believe. So especially people that are in the service industry, I feel like it can be very beneficial if we thank these people, because a lot of times we can take them for granted, at least in the US, and be like, yeah, of course, the person who is the bagger at the grocery store, of course they're going to bag my groceries, and often we can go without thanking them. And I feel like these people especially do not get thanked enough. So I really like to go the extra mile and ask people at like the checkout stations and stuff like that, how are you doing? Is it a stressful day for you at work today? But also just to thank them. Thank you for ringing me up. Thank you for bagging my groceries. This really helps. I mean, it does really help. Have you guys ever shopped, at Aldi or something like that where they don't do it? I mean, it's very, very helpful. So thanking people, especially those that are in the service industry, and making the effort to thank those for even just the really small things that they do. Like if you're walking in a pathway and somebody steps out of the way, like that's something that we can really take for granted, but actually that person intentionally did something kind for you. So just thanking them, hey, thanks for stepping out of the way, and just thanking people for what they do all the time. If you are at home when your mail gets delivered, you can thank the postal person. Thank you for delivering my mail, stuff like that. You'll feel great, and the other person will feel really great as well. One thing I really like to do that fits into this category is to go to restaurants and be really kind to the waiter or waitress, because I used to be a waitress a long time ago when I was in high school, and I mean it's really difficult work. Sometimes if I have a certain budget to spend on a meal out, instead of going to a more expensive restaurant, I'll intentionally go to a restaurant that's a little bit more affordable so that I can give the waitress or the waiter an extra tip. I recently did this, and it was for a breakfast brunch, and I thought, you know what, I think I'd like to spend around $50 for this. So instead of going to like a nice brunch restaurant, I was like, let's go to Big Boy. That'll be really fun. And it really was really fun. And I had a waitress named Denise, and she was incredibly excellent. She was so kind to us, and I just told her, you're doing a great job, because she was doing a great job. And then I think altogether, because Big Boy, for example, is so incredibly cheap, I think our bill was like $25 or something like that. So I gave her a $25 tip, and I glanced and saw her expression when she got the tip when we were on our way out, and she was like crying tears of joy. She was like completely in shock, and she was so happy. And it was really a good experience for me and for us, because not only did we have a delicious breakfast, but we changed somebody's life. And tip number 3 is just look for small ways to help silently. Now you might think, Maya, this is not a very good tip. It's not specific enough. And I hear you. So here's some examples of silent ways. But you may find even other ways depending on where you live and what your daily life is like. Picking up a piece of trash that you find on the sidewalk or on the street, or if you're at a restaurant or in an office, people leave little trash, straw wrappers, like napkins, stuff like that everywhere, and somebody has to pick that up. And I feel like the people who generally are paid to pick that up are not very well paid and have really stressful lives. So you can help them. If you're waiting in line or something, look for trash that's around, throw the trash away. That will really help. As we all know, another way to help can be to open doors for people, or even if you're trying to be extra silent, you can just push the handicap button if there is one on a door and you see somebody coming, and then it will automatically open for that person. Another small way to help is to put products back that are out of place. In retail environments, oftentimes there's just products on random shelves and stuff. And again, it's somebody's job, probably someone who's not well paid and very stressed, to have to go around and find all those products and put them back. So if you are able to and you know where something goes, put it back in the right place. Another thing I like to do is to wipe down tables or counters, especially ones that I've used, instead of leaving a mess, to take a napkin and wipe them down. If you are on a bus or some type of public transit and you see a group of people come in that want to sit together, and let's say you have an empty seat on one side of you and an empty seat on the other, or even at like a doctor's office or an appointment, just silently get up and stand and let those people sit together. I think that's a really nice thing to do. Another little sneaky sort of secret Santa thing that you can do anytime year-round is if you're in a work environment or you're in a school environment and you can tell that somebody is kind of hangry, for example, like you can wait until they get up to use the coffee machine or until they get up to take a bathroom break or something, and you can leave them a snack. You could leave them a snack. You could carry some granola bars or stuff like that, or you can get them a snack from a vending machine. Obviously, this probably isn't something that you're going to do every single day. The main thing to keep in mind is just don't take credit for it. So when they get back and they're like, oh my God, you know, like what? Like, I can't believe there's this trail mix for me here now. Just don't take any credit. Just like play with your phone or something like that, and that'll make it like so much more magical because they'll have no clue. No clue. Oh, I just thought of another one that I used to do that I should start doing again, which is I used to make up little packets, just sort of small little things like hotel shampoos and stuff like that. I would kind of gather things like that, and I used to just buy clearance granola bars and stuff like that and make little Ziploc bags, and then I would give them to the homeless people that are at intersections. That to me felt like a little bit more safe, because when I'm at an intersection, I'm driving in my car, I'm about to just drive away. But you could do that as well. You probably will find that you have tons of little things like that that could be useful to somebody who doesn't have a home. Gather them up, put them in Ziploc bags, and give them to people in need. I saw people just be in shock, like with so much happiness when I would give out just these little bags, and they literally had like hotel shampoos and like wet wipes and maybe a granola bar, maybe some change, some quarters, and just a note like you're great or whatever. So yeah, I don't know, maybe try that if you want. Another thing that you can do is pay for somebody who's behind you in line at a toll or at a Starbucks or really anywhere that you want. Obviously, if you don't have money to do that, that's fine. But if you do have a couple extra dollars, maybe instead of spending it on something frivolous, maybe pay it forward like that. I think that could really help. Oh, it's winter right now. That can be a really stressful time, especially for older people or people who are physically disabled. And so if you live in a place where there's a lot of snow, you could actually shovel somebody's driveway or clear off their car. And if you want to do this in a secret way, you could do it maybe at night or really early in the morning. And especially for elderly people who maybe have to just kind of walk a little ways outside to get their mail, they could slip, they could fall. So if you identify somebody in need like that in your community, that can be a great way to help as well. Same thing, I guess, in the fall time if you live in a seasonal area with raking leaves or things like that. Oh, another thing that I help people with sometimes, reaching high shelves in supermarkets, which is really funny because you guys, I am short. Like I am like 5'1", 5'2", in between there, and there are definitely still people that are shorter than me, and there are people shopping that are in wheelchairs and stuff like that. And you know what's crazy is that the most affordable products and also a lot of natural and organic products are often placed on the highest shelf. So that's kind of a tip for you guys if you're on a budget. Look for things on the highest shelf. That's where the best deals are. And so a lot of times the people that are in need the most, they need the products that are on on the top shelf, and they may not be able to reach the products. Even if they are taller than you, sometimes people have back pain or stuff like that. If you see somebody looking at a product on a high shelf, be aware of your surroundings and ask them, oh, would you like me to grab that for you? Especially if you're really young and really able, I think that can really help. And my final tip is just to look out for others, especially children. I occasionally have been known to grab a child that's about to run into the street or something like that, because I try to keep my eyes open. And especially if you see a parent and they are on their cell phone and they're holding a baby in their arm or something like that, and they also have a toddler and you're at like a crosswalk or something like that, keep an eye on the kid. I mean, I don't ever recommend touching somebody else's child or something like that unless it's an emergency, but you will find sometimes that emergencies do happen pretty often, or you'll see a child that is veering from their parent at a store or something like that because maybe they see a toy or something, and maybe again the mom or dad's on the cell phone, has another kid, and they're not even seeing that their child's about to go somewhere else. I usually will try to say to the kid, oh, you know, mommy's going that way or whatever, and if they don't respond to that, I'll usually gently place my hand on their back and sort of guide them towards the parent, and maybe just say to the parent, oh, you know, just maybe I'll just point or something like that. Same with elderly people. They're not probably gonna like run away or something like that, but occasionally you will see elderly people that are confused or they have dementia or something like that. Just yesterday I saw a very elderly man who seemed very, very confused, and he was staring into a vegetable freezer for about 15-20 minutes. I noticed him multiple times. Finally asked him, oh, can I help you with anything? A lot of times old people might just think that you, I don't want to stereotype, but they might think that you work at a place even if you don't, because he definitely interpreted me as an employee. And I just said, oh, can I help you with anything? And he was like, I've been looking for 20 minutes for the broccoli. And it was really seriously just probably like 4 inches above his eye line, but he didn't notice it. I was able to help him, and I think that really made a difference because he was really confused and really frustrated. So just look for opportunities like that. And you guys, if you follow the tips in this video, I think that the world is going to be a much better and a much brighter place, and I think that that's why we're here. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on 3 secret ways to make a difference as a light worker. If you have, please feel free to come back any Tuesday or Friday for more videos here on the Maya's Dream channel. Thank you again for watching, and namaste. Bye!